So we're here at Merrington's campsite, which is down in a valley close to the Thompson Dam. And we're going to see how Starlink is going to get on with being in a valley, as well as my Iridium satphone and a Garmin InReach. And then we're going to try the Starlink and Iridium and InReach in a deeper valley once we've finished at Merrington's. So here's where we went to do the test, which is down into the Thompson Dam area. This map is a 3D map from All Trails, really great hiking off-road map. So that's the red line which we took, and here's the valley we dropped into. There's Dream Creek. As you can see, that's our second location, complete with this switchback over here that I remember driving down and through. Over here is Merrington's camp, our first location, and if we zoom in you can actually see exactly where we parked. Pretty cool. So let's just zoom out of that now and a bit further out, give you an idea of the surrounding elevation, which is all pretty similar, so that's why I chose that area, and that gives you an idea of where we tested it. So here we are at Merrington's campsite and setting up Starlink. I'm not going to go through how to do that in this video because I've got another one where we go into that in quite a bit of detail. Alright, so I've now connected this tablet to my Wi-Fi network, so you can see it's connected without internet, so that's a good sign. That means that Starlink's happy with the power. Now the dish has to find the satellites and get us to the internet. We'll see if it can do that. Okay, so you can see at the moment we're offline but connected to, so we're connected to Wi-Fi but it's offline, and the offline means that it can't see the signal. It's saying no signal received and it's switched to network issue, so we'll give it a moment or two and then see if it can pick anything up. Okay, we've put Starlink onto the roof of the ute to hopefully allow it to get a little bit better visibility. So it's online, as you can see, so we've got internet access, and that means we can start to browse the web and do things. Right, now we're going to do a speed test and just see how fast SpaceX Starlink is, which as you can see at the bottom there. I'm going to hit go, and you can see that starting, yep, so 180, 220, 260, 290. We're going to see 300 megabits per second. That's insane. We're at Merrington's campsite in the middle of a valley and we're getting better internet access speeds than most people would get in their city suburban home. So whatever you think of Mr. Elon Musk, you've got to admit he is a clever guy and this is pretty amazing. So there you go, there's the speed test result, 298 and 23. That is pretty bloody awesome. Look, there's some people just madly Facebooking or whatever they're doing with internet access. Looks pretty serious. Most probably looking up old Land Rovers on the internet, I expect. Just to check, so that is playing 720. We will higher picture quality, so 1080 now, which is good. So let's full screen that. Playing pretty nicely, as you can see. Now if I just jump, you can see that and just jump to an hour and it just instantly plays, so it's actually buffering really quickly, so it really is high-speed internet. Alright, so we've got Starlink working, and to do that what I had to do was change the service address to the latitude and longitude of Merrington's flat, which I did back in Murray before we got here, and then it took a while to figure out where it was and get going. It was throwing up a network issue here and there, but now it's locked onto the satellites, we're getting a good signal. I've helped it by putting on top of the ute, and yeah, we've got internet access. And whether you think high-speed internet access anywhere in the bush is a good thing or not, well, the fact is it's here and it can't be uninvented. What I'm doing now is changing the service address to the next location. I probably don't need to because it's not that far away, but I've done it anyway before I shut Starlink down. So here we are going down Dream Creek track. This is a pretty typical track in the Victorian High Country, so if it works down here, I'm not going to say it's going to work everywhere, but it's probably pretty representative. Okay, so now we're at the bottom of Dream Creek track, which is a bit south of Merrington's, and this is even further down, you can see that the stream is flowing about southwards. So we've dropped a bit further down, and also the valley is steeper sided. So that's an even tougher test for Starlink and the Iridium satphone, and both of them have managed to pick up signal, and we have high-speed internet at the bottom of Dream Creek track. So we're going to give the speed test another go pretty much immediately after we have set up Starlink, and that's not entirely fair because Starlink does need a bit of time to optimize itself, so we should give it that. But as you can see, it's getting up to around about 80, so that's nowhere near the 300 or so we got at Merrington's, but 80 is still above the national average in Australia. So despite the fact we're in the bottom of a valley, we're actually getting better broadband than what you typically get in a capital city, and upload is pretty damn good as well. 28 is nice and high. So there you go, high-speed broadband, even parked literally in a river, in the high country, miles from any mobile phone tower. But what we're going to do now is we're going to phone the man some people call the greatest educator in the history of four-wheel driving, and just test the call quality. So let's do that. Dialing his number. I'm not going to show you his numbers because that is a closely guarded secret. If you got this guy's number, you are one of a special tribe and highly privileged. Will he answer? Hi, Matt. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, you're a bit faint, just shout a bit. I don't know if I could turn the volume up a bit. But just confirm you can in fact hear me from the bot. What's that? Hang on. Let's go to ear. Okay, that should be better. How's the call quality? Yeah, good. I had it on speakerphone. What wasn't fantastic. So look, it's fantastic to hear your voice and everything, but this is a sat phone, therefore it's really expensive. So whilst I just love to sort of lie back and enjoy the sound of your voice, now we've proven it has worked. I'm going to hang up and let you get on with your day and educating the masses about how to do safe four-wheel drive recovery. Is that all right? Great. Thanks. Bye. Well, that worked. Made a sat phone call. All right, so we're going to talk a bit about Garmin's InReach product. Now, I've got an Iridium satellite phone here, which I can speak and send text messages with, and also it's got a GPS receiver built in, so it's got its location. I can send that as part of a text message and an SOS button. But I'm not here to talk about that. That will be the subject of a separate video. We are here to talk about the Garmin InReach though, which my friend Sean Johnson has brought along to talk to us about. So Sean, what is the InReach and how are you finding it?
Well, the InReach is actually a data as in text or SMS or email messaging. It's basically just a handheld. There are a few different devices, and I'm not going to talk about the different Garmin devices, but any of the Garmin devices that have their InReach feature means that they actually use the satellites for texting and communications, which is really, really good. Now, you can't make a phone call like the Iridium phone,
no,
but you can actually send and receive text and emails. So that's really handy in an emergency situation, as well as just telling everybody where you are. And it's an actual nice, cheap alternative. So prices currently at the moment, one of these is around $700, and you've got to be part of a subscription. Yep. Anywhere from $25 to $100 a month, and that depends on how many messages you want to send. But the other big advantage with this system is it's very portable, very handy, very cost effective, but it also has an SOS button on the side. If you use the app, we've got to the camera, we can actually bring up the map, so you can actually have your full-time mapping system running at the same time.
But then,
so whatever that would be displaying, this then gets displayed on the phone, and you can see it's just been sending and receiving some messages just then.
Who would you recommend one of these for, Sean?
I'd recommend that to someone who wants to be cost effective, not spending a lot of money, doesn't think that they actually need to have a satellite phone, because this is a good replacement as an emergency thing.
Yep.
I reckon that you know, if you just want to have a bit of security but not pay a lot of money, that's definitely a good thing. Secondly, you can use it walking around. Its battery life lasts for days. So if you're hiking, full driving, it's really good, cost-effective way to go.
In contrast, this is about $1,800 outright. You can send text messages on it, but it's back to the Nokia days of just using a keypad here. You can't link it to a phone. There's obviously with a phone it's a lot easier to do that, so I'd rather be texting off this than that. But this will make phone calls as well, whereas this one can't. So yeah, horses for courses. Ideally you'd want both, but you know, by the time you've paid for all of these services, it's a lot of money. So I hope you found this video useful. If you want to know more about Starlink and how it works and how to set it up, check out my other video. And if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. Thanks for watching.